Welcome to Beyond the Strikes, and I'm delighted to say we're joined by your new favourite fighter, Ugly Man Joe Holmes. Joe, how are you doing today?
I am doing a lot better now. It started off a little bit rough, but yeah, we're good. We're good. Thank you.
Excellent. And a massive congratulations on your sub win last time out. That need to set the finish up was absolutely incredible. How many times have you watched it back?
I've maybe watched it 20, 25 times or 200 times. I don't know. After like all these videos start going crazy online and stuff, you don't really notice you're watching it anymore because everybody's posting the same video and you just like open the post. So I've watched it a bunch of times. It looks really great. It's probably one of my best performances for sure.
It was definitely highlight reel stuff. It was excellent. And you fought in the Apex quite a few times now. What's it like fighting in that sort of environment?
I like fighting at the Apex. It's really intimate. Like it's not quiet because the fans that are there, which there aren't very many, they are very passionate people. So you kind of can make like quick connections with people um, that you just probably can't make in a bigger type of event. So I really enjoy fighting at the Apex, and then plus my management's always there, and I always get to like spot Jason House or one of those guys as I'm going into the octagon. So that's really fun.
Yeah, I mean, it looks fun and it's great as a fan, just being able to watch it and kind of hearing what the corners are saying. It really, I think intimate is such a really great description of it. And you're definitely one of the most exciting fighters in the middleweight division. Is there any news on when you'll be back fighting again?
I'm trying to get onto that September 17th or 18th card that's in Vegas at the Apex. Um, Cheaty's on that card, and then one of my teammates, Trey Ogden's on that card. And I've won fights with both of those guys on the same card, so I kind of want to try and keep that trend going and get onto the card with them any chance I get. So hopefully I can get onto that September card if we can find a
That'd
sexy
be
opponent.
absolutely awesome. Do you have any opponent in mind at the moment, or are you kind of open to anyone?
Open to anyone. I kind of I'm not calling anyone out, but I'm interested in fighting that John Phillips guy. I don't know if he got cut though, but I know he finished Amadovsky quicker than I did, so I'd kind of like to, if that's possible, fight that kid. Just to kind of prove, it doesn't matter how fast you finished him, I'm still better.
That sounds great. And then taking it right back to the start, how did you originally get into combat sports?
I was a football player, and then just stopped playing football, and just still had that drive in me, still had that hunger for just like working out and competition. So I ended up meeting a guy. He had a SFS MMA shirt on, which is where I train in Dallas, SFS MMA. Just asked him a few questions about it, and the place was really close to where I lived at the time. This was like 2014, I think, and went and checked it out and never left. Yeah.
It's really cool. And have you found it massively different in terms of the how you prepare and like the team sport of football versus MMA? Have there been any massive differences?
Yeah, I mean, I guess with football, things are a little bit more clean cut and organized, I guess you could say. Like when you're practicing football, it's pretty generic. Like, it's hard, but the workouts are very, very basic, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like the things you do like at the highest level training for football are the same things you do at the lowest level training for football, except the intensity is different. Whereas with martial arts, it's very different everywhere you go. Like you can go to like three different gyms all to learn the same art, and each gym you're going to be doing something totally different. You know what I mean? That you've probably never even seen before. Like I go to places, like for example, this kid he came into my gym last night, SFS, for the first time, and he was asking me something about fighting or whatever. And he's 16, so he can't even fight till he's 17. So I was like, just bulk up and wait till you're 17. Well, he's telling me he trains at this gym and not very far from my gym regularly, and I was like, "Do you train jujitsu?" He's like, "Yeah." he's not even belted right now. He's like, yeah, right now we're working on the truck. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, the truck, you know what I mean? I'm a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, and I don't think I've ever worked on the truck. I mean, I think I've seen it before, but I couldn't even tell you what that technique is. You know what I mean? And this guy's brand spanking new, and he's like, yeah, we're working on the truck. So I'm like, yeah, completely different from football.
And have you noticed the kind of the younger generation that are coming into the gyms now? It feels like MMA has just, over the last probably between 5 and 7 years, has just gone crazy, like absolutely exploded, mainstream sport. Have you really found over the last few years that the standard of people coming into the gym is that much higher, or have you noticed any differences there?
I guess some of the main differences I've noticed about some of the newer people coming into martial arts is that I guess we make it look easy. You know, I guess us as fighters make fighting and training martial arts look easy, because you have these guys who've never been in a fight before, you know, never trained, you know, have no discipline. They'll come in there, and on their second day, they're like, hey, so when can I fight? And I'm like, like, I remember when I first started, I never asked to fight. I never asked to fight one time. And my coach just came to me one day and told me I have a fight.
Yeah.
You know, so now these guys are coming in feeling like entitled to a fight just because they're there. And at the beginning, or at least my beginning, you kind of had to earn that. You know what I mean? You had to get your ass kicked day in, day out, you know, being all these dangerous guys' training partners, you know, and then one day you'll get your shot and you better step up for it. You know what I mean? So I guess that's one of the major differences I've noticed.
Absolutely have to earn it. And your fighter name is amazing, like genuinely one of the most unique and best names we've heard. What's the story behind your fight nickname, Ugly?
Ugly Man Joe. I created a group called Ugly Man Gang, and it was just how I expressed myself at the time, with the friends and the people that I was close with and the people that knew me even. Everyone basically who knew me around like graduating high school 2013 to about getting into MMA 2014, would always call me Ugly Man. Most people would call me Ugly Man. And it was just a thing we created. Like, people would, like, a big thing at that time was like scoring. I don't know if you've ever heard of scoring on someone. You're just like making fun of them basically. But that gives you an opportunity to like be confident in yourself and, you know, bark back at them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, come back with your own stuff.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that was created. Like, I'd see my friend be like, boy, you ugly to know, boy, and then start firing them up, you know? So that's kind of where it comes from.
I absolutely love that. Was Sherlock ever in the running? Sherlock Holmes?
Absolutely not. Honestly, I knew instantly. As soon as I had to create a nickname, I was like, huh, Ugly Man Joe.
Brilliant. And we also love the moustache. Like, it proper reminds us of like those old Victorian boxers. What's the inspiration behind the style?
It's kind of something I've always like liked. It's been something that when I see it, I'd be like, huh, it's cool. You know, like in movies or anything, you see like, and then I can't get like the beard that I want. Like, I wish I could grow the whole Rick Ross thing. Like, if I could, I would, but I can't. I can't get it to connect on both sides, like right here. So I just kind of wanted to do something unique to me, you know, something I could do. I always could grow my mustache nicely. So I ended up just finding a product that works for me, and it just stuck. It's kind of like a thing. Like, my name, Ugly Man Joe, is like, you know, a judgmental thing. Like, when you hear it, you're instantly judging me. You know what I'm saying? Not in a bad way necessarily, but it's like looking at him, you know, is he ugly? Is he ugly? So then you see all these unique things, you know what I mean? Colored hair, you know, weird mustache. It just kind of works.
Yeah, it absolutely works. I think next time you're fighting, we'll pay homage and we'll grow your moustache. We'll grow.
Heck yeah. You gotta send me a picture of that. I actually had a buddy, Willie Escrow, who owns Escrow Sneakers. He sent me a picture rocking my mustache in my last fight. So that was actually really cool.
Awesome, we'll do that. And you mentioned about working in video games, and we've seen that you're a video game content creator. Sounds super cool. What does that involve?
I have a streaming channel on Facebook called Ugly Man Joe Gaming. I like to play newer games and like child-friendly games, things like that. But it basically involves just a lot of playing video games, which is something I already love to do, and then a little TikTok. Nowadays, you can get little snippets of your games, paste them together on TikTok and post them, and then a lot of people will come and just like see me for the first time there, and then they'll come to my channel and follow me. So it's just a fun thing I like to do. I've always played video games, but like when you're in a relationship, you know what I mean? Like your girl doesn't necessarily want you just on games, you know what I mean? Like when you could be spending time with them. So now that I kind of have like a little part-time gig, you know what I mean, playing games, now it's kind of like, okay, go and play your games, and you know. So.
It's great. And if we were to put you on the spot and say, what is the best game of all time, what would you go for?
PUBG, Player Unknown's Battlegrounds, for sure.
Nice, very nice. So we've got a hypothetical question for you, and the question is, you can only watch one fighter's past and future fights forevermore. Which fighter do you pick?
That's a good question. Ooh. Maybe Valentina Shevchenko's. She's very interesting to watch. She's a really exciting fighter, and I like exciting fights. I like people that go for it. So
love that. One of the greatest ever to do it. So I think brilliant.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
And then, do you have any superstitions or rituals that you always do before a fight?
I eat really bad. I don't know if that's a ritual or not, but after I make that weight, dude, I go crazy, man. I eat and eat and eat, and it carries on even like after the win. Like it's just like insane.
Any preference? What's your go-to meal after the weigh-in?
Go-to, man, maybe a burrito. After weigh-in, I normally like, especially if we're in Vegas. Babe, what's the name of that restaurant we like in Vegas? You remember? Man, we go over there and we get like a 2-pound burrito, man. We'll be eating that mug for 2 days.
I love that. Absolutely brilliant. Well, honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today. It really has. We've got one final question, and that's over the next few years, what do you really want to achieve?
I really want to achieve kind of like in a fighting sense, like as far as like the people that watch me fight, I really want them to get that like that old school feel back when they watch me fight, whereas like they look at me and they're like, man, that guy's exciting. You know, like that's what I really crave. Like I like to like the way, so like I call myself a submission fighter, and it's not because I submit a lot of people. It's because I'm always trying to finish people. You know, like I'm trying to like hurt them and go keep hurting them in that same spot and then take them out of there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of guys nowadays, they're just trying to like win fights, you know, like, oh, I'll go all 3 rounds. You know, they ask you, how do you think this is going to go? Oh, we're going to go the distance and I'm going to win by the judges. Like, are you kidding me, bro? Nobody wants to see that, man. Like, you're training so hard. Go freaking hurt that dude and put him out. So I really want people to like get that feel for me. And I guess I look forward. So I got 10 hard years planned. Like I'm 27 now. I want to retire by 37. Mm-hmm. So I plan to get the title in about 6, and then 4 years reign on the title for about 4, and then just retire, man, and play video games and golf and open up some gyms and you know what I mean, just do my thing. So I think the fans can expect an exciting fighter here.
Mate, keep landing them knees, and absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Well, honestly, it's been a real pleasure catching up with you today. It really has. You've got fans in us. We'll be supporting you whenever you're fighting. And just want to say thank you so much for your time and have a great day.
Appreciate you, Edward. You're awesome, brother. Thank you.
Bye.